Good day, everyone. My name is John Gerald S. Jocales, Group Leader for Group 10, and I am here with my member, Mr. Ray Rico. We're going to talk about online ethics, and I hope you listen to our presentation and learn something new. So, what is online ethics? Online ethics refers to pattern of behavior used when on the internet, guided both by law and personal. The great capabilities of this communication medium allow for the potential of great harm, cruelty, and even crime. Is an area of applied ethics that looks at moral, legal, and social problems that arise when computer, information, and communication technologies are combined. Information ethics, internet ethics, and computer ethics are other terms that are also used to describe this field. Ang online ethics ay etika na ginagamit sa online na mundo. Ito ay alintuntunin para sa pag-uugali ng mga gumagamit ng internet. Dahil sa online ethics, naiiwasan ang mga hindi kanais-nais na pag-uugali na nagre-resulta sa panluloko, panlalamang at pang-aapi, gaya na lamang ng cyberbullying at marami pang iba. What is ethics? Ethics is derived from the Greek word ethos, which means way of living. Ethics is a branch of philosophy that is considered with human conduct, more specifically, the behavior of individuals in society. Ethics examine the rational justification for our moral judgment and studies what is morally right or wrong, just or unjust. Ethics can be summed up as a set of moral precepts. They have an impact on how people live their lives and make decisions. Ethics, often known as moral philosophy, is concerned with what is best for people and society. Ang ethics ay isang disiplina ng pilosopiya na pinag-aaralan ang pag-uugali ng tao at ang ugnayan nito sa mga pahiwatig ng mabuti at kasamaan. Mga tuntunin sa moral, tungkulin, kaligayahan at ang pangkaraniwang kapakanan. Ang papel ng ethics bilang isang disiplina, ito ay pinag-aaralan ang mga utos ng moralidad, tungkulin at kabutihan na gumagabay sa pag-uugali ng tao tungo sa kalayaan at hustisya. So there are three types of ethics. The first is the utilitarian. Utilitarianism is an ethical theory that determines right from wrong by focusing on outcomes. It is a form of consequentialism, and utilitarianism holds that the most ethical choice is the one that will produce the greatest good for greatest number. For example, if you are choosing an ice cream for yourself, the utilitarian view is that you should choose the flavor that will give you the most pleasure. If you enjoy chocolate but hate vanilla, you should choose chocolate for the pleasure it will bring and avoid vanilla because it will bring displeasure. Deontological ethics. Deontological ethics. In moral philosophy, deontological ethics or deontology is the normative ethical theory that the morality of an action shall be based on whether that action itself is right or wrong, under a series of rules, rather than based on the consequence of the action. Example, deontology views action as either right or wrong, without any regard to contextual features. An example sometimes of use is that of the Ten Commandments. Honor your father, do not kill, and do not steal. So the last is virtue ethics. Virtue ethics is an approach to ethics that treats the concept of moral virtue as central. Virtue ethics is usually contrasted with two other major approaches in ethics, consequentialism and deontology, which make the goodness of outcomes of an action and the concept of moral duty central. honesty, courage, compassion, generosity, fidelity, integrity, fairness, self-control, and prudence are all examples of virtues. Etiquette. So what is etiquette? Etiquette is a set of conventional rules of personal behavior in polite society, usually in the form of ethical code that delineates the expected and accepted of social behavior that accord with the convention and norms observed by a society, a social class, or a social group. A more concise definition of etiquette is the proper conduct that sets human apart from the other animals. As a social creature, the human being must act appropriately in all times. Being socially responsible is what is meant by etiquette. Ang etiquette ay naglalarawan ng mga kinakailangan ng pag-uugali ayon sa mga konbensyon ng lipunan. Kasama dito ang gustong paggawi ng itinatag ng isang komunidad para sa iba't ibang okasyon. Kabilang ang mga seremonya, korte, formal na kaganapan at pang-araw-araw na buhay. Kasama sa etiquette ang pagkakaroon ng isang malakas na code sa pag-uugali, pagpapakita ng respeto sa tao, paggalang sa mga matatanda, pagsabi ng excuse me, pagsabi ng sorry, pagtakip ng ilong pag umuubo, at iba pa. Netiquette. What is netiquette? Netiquette is a made-up word from the word net and etiquette. Netiquette thus describe the rules of conduct for respectful and appropriate communication on the internet. Netiquette is often referred to as etiquette for the internet. Netiquette is a set of guidelines that promotes acceptable and polite conduct. These guidelines are crucial because they encourage effective communication, guard against misunderstanding, and show you what is appropriate in social situation when working and cooperating online. Ang netiquette ay hango sa dalawang salitang Ingles na net at etiquette, na ang ibig sabihin at ang tamang pag-uugali na maaring gawin ng isang tao habang siya ay gumagamit sa mundo ng online o internet. Gaya sa ating pangkaraniwang na buhay, mayroon ding tamang pag-uugali na dapat ginagawa ng mga tao kapag sila ay nakikipag-usap sa ibang tao at gumagamit ng internet. So, proper netiquette. So, what is proper netiquette? Proper netiquette is the appropriate conduct or conduct in the online environment, including how you speak online or what you do online, is known as proper netiquette. Here are some instances of good online behavior. Rule number 1. Remember the human. When communicating electronically, whether through email, instant message, discussion posts, text, or some other method, practice the golden rule. Do unto the others as you would have others do unto you. Remember, your written words are read by the real people, all deserving of respectful communication. Before you press, send, or submit, ask yourself, would I be okay with this if someone else had written it? Rule number 2. Adhere to the same standard of behavior online that follow you in real life. While it can be argued that the standard of behavior may be different in the virtual world, they certainly should not be lower. You should do your best to act within the laws and ethical manners of society whenever you inhabit in cyberspace. Rule number 3. Know where you are in cyberspace. Netiquette varies from domain to domain, depending on where you are in virtual world. The same written communication can be acceptable in one area, where it might be considered inappropriate in another. What you text to a friend may not be appropriate in email, to a classmate or colleague. Rule number 4. Respect other people's time and bandwidth. Electronic communication takes time to read and time in which to respond. Most people today lead busy lives just like you do and don't have time to read or respond to frivolous emails or discussion posts. As a virtual world communicator, it is your responsibility to make sure that the time spent reading in your words isn't wasted. Make your written communication meaningful and to the point, without extraneous text or superfluous graphics or attachment that may take forever to download. Rule number 5. Make yourself look good online. One of the best things about the virtual world is the lack of judgment associated with your physical appearance, sound of your voice, or clothes you wear. Unless you post a video of yourself singing karaoke in a clown outfit, you will. However, be judged by the quality of your writing, so keep the following tips in mind. Rule number 6. Share expert knowledge. The internet offers its users many benefits. One, one is the ease in which information can be shared or accessed and in fact, this information sharing capability is one of the reasons the internet was founded. So, in the spirit of the internet, founding fathers, share what you know. When you pose a question and receive intelligent answers, share the result with others. Are you an expert at something? Post, post your resources and reference about your subject matter. Recently, expanded your knowledge about a subject that might be of interest to others. Share that as well. Rule number 7. Help keep flame wars under control. What is meant by flaming and flame in flame wars? Flaming is what the people do when they express a strongly held opinion without holding back any emotion. As an example, think of the kind of passionate comments you might read on sports blog. While flaming is not necessarily forbidden in virtual communication. Flame wars. When two or three people exchange angry posts between one another, must be controlled or the camaraderie of the group could be compromised. Don't feed the flames. Extinguish them by guiding the discussion back to a more productive direction. Rule number 8. Respect other people's privacy. Depending on what you are reading in the virtual world, be it an online class, discussion forum, Facebook page, or an email, you may be exposed to some private or personal information that needs to be handled with care. Perhaps someone is sharing some medical news about a loved one or discussing a situation at work. What do you think would you happen if this information got into the wrong hands? Embarrassment, hurt feelings, loss of a job, just as you expect others to respect your privacy. So, should you respect the privacy of others? Be sure to err on the side of caution when deciding to discuss or not to discuss virtual communication. Rule number 9. Don't abuse your power. Just like in the face-to-face situation, there are people in cyberspace who have more power than the others. They have more expertise in technology or they have years of experience in a particular skills or subject matter. Maybe it's you who possesses all the all of this knowledge and power. Just remember, knowing more than others do or having more power than others may have does not give you the right to take advantage of anyone. Think of rule 1. Remember the human. Rule number 10. Be forgiving of other people's mistakes. Not everyone has the same amount of experience working in virtual world, and not everyone knows the rules of etiquette. At some point, you will see a stupid question, read an unnecessarily long response, or encounter misspelled words. When this happens, practice kindness and forgiveness as you would hope someone would you do if you had committed the same offense. If it's a minor, you might want to lead it slide. If you feel compelled to the respond to a mistake, do do so in a private email rather than a public forum. Spam. So what is spam? Spamming is the use of messaging to system to send multiple unsolicited messages to large number of recipients for the purpose of commercial advertising. For the purpose of non-commercial proselytizing, for any prohibited purpose, or simply repeatedly sending the same message to the same users. Spam is any kind of unwanted, unsolicited digital communication that gets sent out in bulk. Often spam is sent via email, but it can also be distributed via text messages, phone calls, or social media. Ang spam ay tumutukoy sa paggamit ng mga elektronikong sistema ng pagmimensahe upang maipadala ang mga hindi natanggap o hindi nais na mga mensahe ng maramihan. Example of spam: email message you did not ask for from sender you don't know. Unsolicited commercial email messages sent in bulk, often using a purchase or stolen mailing list that includes your address. Counterfeit messages that looks like they were sent by reliable sources and attempt to trick you into supplying your personal information. Misleading messages from people you know whose email accounts had been hacked.
Why are online safety and security considered as dilemma? Simple terms, online safety refers to the act of staying safe online. It also commonly known as internet safety, is safety and cyber safety. It encompasses all technological devices which have access to internet from PC and laptops to smartphones and tablets. Operating within an online space is something most of us imply, though subconsciously, but have you ever stopped to consider the potential dangers which exist on the website, especially for our children? Being safe online means individuals are protecting themselves and others from online harms and risk, which may jeopardize their personal information, lead to unsafe communications, or even affect their mental health. Well-being in an ever-changing world ensure pupils' safety online has never been more important. It's an all-encompassing duty and something every teacher must be vigilant of. How would you ensure that you stay safe online? When it's come to online safety, it goes with the saying that you should never share your password, banking information, social media account access, or address online, and keeping in mind that identify tip is not that only risk of a lack of cybersecurity. So some details are riskier to share than you'll expect. Tips to stay safe online. Number 1. Get the latest antivirus and firewall software. Number 2. To update your internet browser. Number 3. Create a strong and easy to remember password. Number 4. Use a different password to the one you use for another service. Number 5. Change your password on a regular basis.
And with that, we have concluded our presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and sincerely hope you took something away from it that you can use in your daily life. to use the internet wisely and avoid doing things that should be avoided online. Again, thank you and God bless.